Hey guys, I'm Jared, and today we're talking about what's new in board gaming as of December 16th, 2022. I'll be covering the latest news, announcements, most played games, hot new Kickstarters, and crowdfunded games, and more related to board gaming for the past 2 weeks. At the end, I'll also be sharing what's going on behind the scenes with my YouTube channel, Meeple Mentor. So stick around, we've got a lot to cover. Leave me a like and comment on what kinds of updates that you want to hear more about. To make sure you don't miss my news updates, new video tutorials, and our podcast episodes, be sure to subscribe on YouTube and your preferred streaming platform. Let's get started with some crowdfunding. Fans of Roll and Rights can enjoy Arabella, an 18xx game for 1 to 4 players set in Estonia. Trains, shares, and dividends play an important part, as in most 18xx games. Collect the most victory points to win. This game plays in an hour and suits players ages 8 and up. You can back it on GameFound until January 10th. On to Kickstarter. Pole Position is the ultimate simulator racing game that captures all the excitement of a Grand Prix or championship. Experience overtaking, crashes, pit stops, tire maintenance, weather changes, and more. Use driver cards and team cards to make your way around the track according to dice rolls. It's for 2 to 6 players ages 14 and up and plays in an hour. It's funding on Kickstarter until January 4th. A new trick-taking card game has hit Kickstarter. Megalomania allows players to complete missions using powers, collect resources and spend them wisely, and gain the most points to win. 2 to 4 players can enjoy the game. It's suitable for ages 16 and up and plays in 30 to 45 minutes. It's funding until December 17th. If solar destruction and strategy sounds like a good time to you, Sol, Last Days of a Star, the insert and reprint, is funding on Kickstarter until January 3rd. 1 to 5 players each control one of the worlds surrounding a star facing annihilation. Mine the stars for the energy needed to supply your escape vessels, simultaneously destroying the stability of the stars. Games range from 45 to 90 minutes. Numsters is a solo game that can be played in your hand or on a table. Each of the hungry numsters features a number and special ability. Starting with a stack of 6 random numsters plus the mouth card, you'll need to eat, move, and manipulate your way to victory. If you can get down to just 1 numster and the mouth remaining in your hand, you win. This solo wallet game is on Kickstarter until December 17th. Fans of ping pong can enjoy an 18-card head-to-head ping pong game called Pim Pam. Players take turns playing a card from their hand. You can only play a card if it is 1 less, the same, or 1 more than the card in play. If you're unable to play a card, your opponent scores a point. First to 5 points wins. 2 players can enjoy this game, and you can back it on Kickstarter until December 21st. Tank Clash Western Front features an armor tracking system with dice rolling and hand management. Immerse yourself in battle with 6 iconic World War II tanks. It's an hour-long game for 2 players ages 14 and up, and funding on Kickstarter until December 21st. Investigate, fight, and hack to find the source and save humanity. Find the Source is a roll and write co-op cyberpunk adventure for 1 to 3 players. For ages 12 and up, this game plays for 15 minutes. You can back it on Kickstarter until January 12th. Biz Viz Learn with Geo and Gaia is a picture book-based card game that aids children with learning world geography. Funny visual stories are used to educate and entertain. Geo and Gaia use the hands-on teaching approach of flying you around the world. Biz Viz Learn is a creative card game that will help you master all the fantasies covered in the book and thereby make your geography learning easy, fun, and playful like never before. It plays for ages 3 and up at 1 to 4 players for 30 to 45 minutes. It's funding on Kickstarter until January 14th. Getting into the industry news, an open-world board game set within the Root universe is coming from the founder of Leader Games, Patrick Leader. Path is confirmed to be an open-world board game with alternate victory conditions. Rather than featuring a cast of different factions from across the world of Root, Path will reportedly focus on the Vagabonds. Path is yet to receive a firm release or crowdfunding date, with the name itself yet to be confirmed. Sales in GameStop's collectibles category, which includes tabletop games, were $207.3 million, up 8% over $192.2 million across the same period a year ago. It's a slower growth rate than the blistering 26% growth rate last quarter. Collectible sales are up 20% for the first 3 quarters. Adapted from the 2020 board game about sewing cozy blankets, Quilts and Cats of Calico is a digital board game for 1 to 4 players that will enable them to challenge their friends online. The upcoming video game will have players constructing tasteful quilts from different scraps of fabric with the aim of scoring points by making fetching patterns and attracting the various adorable cats lurking around. Quilts and Cats of Calico will be released for PC via the Steam store sometime in 2023. Crowdfunding giant Kickstarter recently announced that it surpassed a major financial milestone. Publicly funded projects have now raked in $7 billion since the platform launched in 2009, and tabletop games have accounted for more than 20% of that total. CMON announced the acquisition of Super Fantasy Brawl Enchanters and Steam Watchers from Mythic Games. They will continue to publish existing titles for these new brands while developing new possibilities for them. Noble Knight Games has voluntarily recognized the Noble Knight Games United Union and will proceed to bargaining on a contract. Noble Knight originally refused to voluntarily recognize the union, but apparently reconsidered after evaluating the situation. Now let's look at newly announced games and expansions coming to retail. Maze Escape Kids Hypnos is a family game in the Maze Escape line of puzzle games. It will be released by Devere into retail on January 19th. It's a solo kids game in which Hypnos has sent the player into slumber and they must make their way through mazes to escape. The goal of the game is to complete 7 mazes in the set by finding the exits and to pick up objects along the way. This game is for 1 player, ages 8 and up, and plays in 15 minutes. Devere will also release Maze Escape XP Cryo C, a new logic game, into retail in Q1. In Maze Escape XP Cryo C, a solitary game part of the Maze Escape series, the player emerges from suspended animation to find their spaceship in chaos. They will have to navigate the hallway labyrinths of the ship to find out what has happened. Like the other Maze Escape games, the goal of the game will be to complete the 7 mazes included in the set by finding the exits and picking up objects along the way. Fantasy Flight Games announced the Forgotten Age Investigator expansion and the Forgotten Age Campaign expansion, the next repackaged expansions for Arkham Horror the card game, which will release in Q1 2023. These 2 expansions reprint the 3rd cycle of content for Arkham Horror card game. All player cards for this cycle can be found within the Investigator expansion, and all the campaign and scenario cards can be found in the Campaign expansion. New information has been released on Texas Chainsaw Massacre the game. Trick or Treat plans to begin shipping the horror survival game on March 31st. Players will need to push their luck and pull tokens from a bag in order to take actions. However, if the players pull too many action tokens, the Slaughter family may look to silence them. This co-op game is for 1 to 4 players ages 14 and up and plays in 60 minutes. Giant Fox Games will release Batsu, the Punishment card game, based on Japanese Batsu-style game shows in New York and Chicago, where contestants are punished for bad or incorrect answers. Players perform challenges and are judged by who performed the worst. It's slated for release on December 31st. Ares Games will release Fighters of the Pacific, a naval air battle game, into US retail in February 2023. Fighters of the Pacific features simulated air battles with plane tiles and modular hex-based boards without utilizing dice or rulers. The planes move about individually on the grid as they try to position themselves to get an enemy plane or ship in their sights. This game comes with 10 historical scenarios to play through. It can be played as a solo game or in a multiplayer mode as well. Gift of Tulips is a commodity speculation game where the players are visiting Amsterdam's Tulip Festival. They collect tulips to add to bouquets, gift tulips to others, and manipulate the value of certain flowers on the market. On your turn, you draw a card and then decide whether to keep it, give it to another player, or add it to an alternative pile. Gift of Tulips was previously funded on Kickstarter. It will be available in stores and conventions soon if it's not already there. Gift of Tulips plays 2 to 6 players, 20 minutes, and ages 8 and up. In Fish and Cats, designed by Benjamin Leung, players assume the role of cats, managing a stall at the famous Korean fish market, Jaigachi, while their owners sleep. The goal of the game is to collect sets of the tastiest fish to gain tokens. Heidelbar Games will release Fish and Cats into US retail in Q1 next year. Games for 2 to 6 players ages 6 and up. Heidelbar Games also revealed Tales on Fire, a new card game for release into US retail in Q1. In this game, players are hunting for the next and hottest fire by attempting to claim cards using their 3 card hands. As each round progresses, players outwit each other to keep the fire card and gain hot points. This game is for 2 to 6 players for ages 10 and up and plays in 20 minutes. Upper Deck has updated details on Mortal Kombat 11 for Versus System 2 PCG, which will hit retail in February. It features fan-favorite heroes and villains like Raiden, Sub-Zero, and more, and contains approximately 10 new main characters and 33 new supporting characters for players to bring to the tabletop. Mortal Kombat 11 is designed for 2 players ages 17 and up and plays in 30 minutes. Inside Job, the upcoming card game, is built around a similar gameplay mechanic as The Crew, with players being forbidden to vocally communicate what is in their hand, but needing to play the right cards in the right order. However, Inside Job has players pursuing different objectives depending on their hidden role. Inside Job is currently available in a German language version, with an English language version coming in the summer of 2023. Yellow will release Cheese Master, a new dice rolling game into retail stores in Q1. In this game, players must guess how many cheese pieces are on the kitchen floor, with mice, cats, and dogs roving about the room. This game is for 2 to 8 players ages 8 and up and plays in 10 to 20 minutes. Lucky Duck Games announced Once Upon a Line, a new story-driven puzzle game which will hit Kickstarter in January. In this cooperative game, players take on the role of godlike Zephyrims that help influence the actions of heroes to inspire them to bring balance to a world in the grip of chaos. The game takes place in an alternate Earth timeline where humanity has been decimated by a pandemic and insects have grown to gigantic sizes. This game is for 1 or more players, ages 14 and up, and plays in 90 to 120 minutes. Atomic Mass Games revealed Agent Venom and Spider-Woman, a new miniatures pack for Marvel Crisis Protocol, for release in retail on February 10th. This pack features 2 Spider-enhanced characters. Cryptozoic Entertainment has announced the Multiverse Box for its DC deck building game, a combination storage box and game expansion set to release in Q2. The Multiverse Box is designed to hold cards from multiple sets, including room for card sleeves for those who choose to use them, with 3 rows that can hold a total of 540 sleeved cards. In addition, it comes with the Multiverse Crossover Pack, which players can use for new gameplay options, recreating a conflict to control the multiverse for up to 6 players. Sit Down Games will release Gardeners, a new silent cooperative game into US retail in Q1. In this game, players take on the roles of gardeners for a fickle and capricious king who wants his garden arranged in a magnificent fashion. The gardeners must cooperate to fulfill his demands, even if they are changing constantly, because he's forgetful. This game is played in complete silence and in real time, tracked by a sand timer. The game is for 1 to 4 players, ages 10 and up, and plays in 15 minutes. Let's talk for a bit about what's happening on the Meeple Mentor YouTube channel. First, did you know that we have a Patreon page? It's available for fans of the podcast and channel to pledge as a patron and support us here. There's various pledge levels for small monthly support that helps grow the channel's content. You can get access to new content early. You'll get to vote on new game tutorials that come out on the channel and more. I published a video this week detailing all the tier levels and what benefits you can get. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it, so head to Patreon at patreon.com/meeplementor. The next big announcement involves free stuff for you. Yep, I'm doing a free game giveaway to subscribers of the YouTube channel. From now until January 11th, you can gain entries via a King Sumo link to win a new copy of My Little Everdell. You can get entries for, of course, subscribing to the channel, watching the giveaway announcement video, sharing the giveaway, following on Instagram and Twitter, Twitter, and more. Make sure you get your entries in. I'll ship to any address in the continental United States. I unboxed Nightfall from Red Raven Games. It's a fantasy medieval team-based storytelling game of knights versus demons. Check it out. I also unboxed AEG's Shake That City, which just funded on Kickstarter. You can watch the unboxing, then watch our review. We really enjoyed it. For another great review, watch our review of Frostpunk, the board game. It's a huge Kickstarter with lots of components, and it's based on a video game. Holly and I also reviewed the game Cryo from Z-Man Games. It's an excellent sci-fi worker placement game. I do recommend it. The off-the-shelf recommendation video released last week was for the game Betrayal at House on the Hill. It's one that I think most people will like, and it's been around a long time, and it's just a game everyone should try. Lastly, the most recent tutorial video I made was for Clank, a deck-building adventure. It's for the original version, but if you have the other versions and learn this one first, you'll find them easier to pick up as well. They share a lot of the same mechanisms. Thanks for tuning in to today's news update. I appreciate your support. And remember, teach when you can, but always be learning. See you next time.